My husband got addicted to Adderall after he started taking it to do better at work, but now he's doing anything he can just to get some, and now I'm doing anything I can to get a divorce. I feel so stupid for not noticing. He got a promotion at work and I thought he was excited and productive because of that. He doesn't have ADHD, but he started buying Adderall from a friend so he could be better at work. The tipping point came when his sister-in-law caught him stealing her legally prescribed Adderall because he didn't have any of the ones he bought from his friend left and he needed a fix. His brother told him he needed to tell me and get help. He said he would, but he didn't. He tried to go to the doctor to get his own prescription, but the doctor didn't believe him or saw through him and denied it. His plan was to go to multiple doctors and get multiple prescriptions, but he couldn't find a doctor to prescribe it, and he didn't know that prescriptions are tracked, so him getting multiple ones would have been noticed. I finally found out when he had another fight with his brother, and his brother told me. My husband agreed to get help. He admitted to me and his brother that he was considered robbing a pharmacy to get it, and that was a huge shock that he was considering armed robbery. He's never even been arrested before. I thought he was seeing a professional and getting help, but I found out that last week he took our 4-year-old son to the doctor to get him a prescription. He lied about our son. Our son has none of the symptoms of ADHD and doesn't need it. But my husband was so desperate he tried to lie about our son just to get his hands on Adderall. I'm divorcing him. I don't say this lightly. I tried standing by him after he admitted his plan for armed robbery, his attempt to steal from his sister-in-law, and his attempts to illegally get a legal prescription. I took on overtime at my job so he could take medical leave to get help. I really wanted him to come through this. But when he brought our 4-year-old son into it, that crossed the line. I don't say this lightly, but I don't believe I can forgive that. And then he had the gall to try and lie to me about doing that. I'm so angry at him for that. I have to do what is best for our son. I feel alone because besides his brother and sister-in-law, no one knows, and they are about to do a pre-planned move for their jobs that's been in the works since last year, and they won't be nearby anymore. Sorry for my rambling, but no one knows and it's hard. Update, 2 years later. Background from my original post: my husband started taking Adderall after he got a promotion at work, even though he doesn't have ADHD or any medical reason to take it. He didn't have a prescription, he was buying from someone at work. I found out about his Adderall use when his brother and sister-in-law caught my husband stealing her legally prescribed Adderall. My husband promised to get help, but instead he went to the doctor to try to get a prescription for it. He later admitted his plan was to go to multiple doctors to get prescriptions from each of them. He didn't realize that our province tracks Adderall prescriptions, so that would not have worked. The doctor also refused to give my husband the prescription. My husband then took our son to the doctor without my knowledge to get our son an Adderall prescription. Our son was 4 years old and does not have ADHD. The doctor refused and notified me over concerns of how my husband acted during the appointment. My husband also admitted he lied about attending his therapy appointments and that he was considering committing armed robbery at a pharmacy to get Adderall. My husband had never so much as been arrested, so to hear he was planning a robbery was a shock. Update: the last couple of years have been a roller coaster, but everything is settled and my son and I are in a good place now. I want to thank the people who left supportive comments in my original post. I was surprised to receive some negative comments and DMs accusing me of being an addict, cheating on my, now ex-husband, or saying I was after his money. But mostly everyone was supportive and I can't thank you all enough. I was going through a really dark time and your comments helped. I did divorce him. I did end up owing some spousal support, but I elected to pay it in a lump sum when things were finalized. He spent it immediately, and last I know he filed for bankruptcy. He was originally given supervised visits with our son after the stunt he pulled at the doctor. Right now my ex-husband is in prison. He bought Adderall from a police officer while he was on bail for having Adderall without a prescription. My son and I both went to therapy and my son is thriving. My ex-husband currently doesn't have contact with our son. My ex-husband will have to go to court if he wants visitation again, but in order to get visitation he has to get out of prison and clean up his act. He tried to dispute his child support payments getting cut off when he was sentenced to prison because he needs the money. He has never once asked to see our son since arrest. That was the worst part of this, was how he hurt my son. My ex-husband won't be getting released for at least a year, but I'm already dreading it. It's been an adjustment being single and going through the divorce, but my son is happy and I'm focused on him. Thank you again to everyone who was supportive.